Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, so today we've got a massive amount of ground to cover. Literally a 360-degree look at the biggest global, financial, and cultural stories hitting the wire right now.
And here's the kicker. We only have exactly 4 minutes to break it all down. From the rising temperatures over in the Strait of Hormuz to the trading floors of Wall Street, we are going to connect the dots on how these global shockwaves actually impact your portfolio. Let's get right into it. First up, geopolitics and energy. And right now, things are practically at a boiling point. You can clearly see the immediate economic fallout from this. Brent crude just blew past the $90 mark, closing at $90.66 today. That's a 1.6% jump. And because of these elevated supply fears, you're still seeing pain at the pump. The national average for a gallon of gas, it's stubbornly pinned at $4.01. So what's actually driving those prices? Well, it's a very real geopolitical tug-of-war. On one hand, you've got Qatar and Pakistan floating a 10-day ceasefire proposal. But on the exact same day, Iran's IRGC is out there striking 2 Greek-owned tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. Add to that a bombshell New York Times report revealing undisclosed U.S. troop casualties from prior strikes in Jordan, and, well, it's an incredibly volatile collision of diplomacy and military escalation. All right, pivoting over to markets and tech. It's time for the ultimate AI monetization test. Now, you might think things are slowing down, especially with ADP data showing the labor market is cooling off, adding just 16,500 jobs a week. But look at this market optimism. An absolutely staggering 88% of reporting S&P 500 companies have actually beaten their earnings estimates. That sweeping success is pushing second quarter earnings growth to nearly 25%, making this the second straight quarter we're tracking above 20%. But we are looking at a really fascinating split screen on Wall Street right now. Today, traditional manufacturing absolutely crushed it. I mean, GM saw a 30% profit jump, and 3M just raised their entire outlook. But tomorrow is the big one. We're getting earnings from IBM, Alphabet, and Tesla. Everyone is holding their breath to see if the billions these companies are pouring into AI are actually translating into real, tangible revenue. Moving from market storms to literal ones, let's take a look at extreme weather, because we are facing some serious dual threats. We're tracking 2 completely distinct, very severe weather systems right now. Down on the Gulf Coast, Tropical Storm Bertha is bearing down, packing 50-mile-per-hour winds and threatening the Louisiana coast with life-threatening storm surges of up to 4 feet by Wednesday. At the same time, up in the mid-Atlantic and Northeast, a brutal cold front is sweeping through tomorrow with damaging winds and large hail. Both of these fronts pose immediate threats to local infrastructure and, of course, broader supply chains. Finally, let's check in on culture. Right now, sports and the entertainment industry are totally in limbo. Just look at this number, 60.3 million. That is the confirmed viewership for Sunday's World Cup final. That's a massive, historic audience size, and it is giving Fox and Telemundo unprecedented leverage as they formally head into the 2030 World Cup broadcast rights talks with FIFA. Across the rest of the entertainment world, we're seeing eras end and futures completely stall. On the pitch, Lionel Messi's camp is heavily signaling that his international career will essentially wrap up after the 2027 Copa America. But while that era is ending, corporate Hollywood is just stuck. That massive $111 billion merger between Paramount and Warner Bros. Discovery has been halted by a 14-day restraining order. 12 Democratic attorneys general brought an antitrust case, leaving the studios trapped in total legal limbo. So bringing it all together, we've got big tech's massive AI investments facing a make-or-break test tomorrow. We've got intense geopolitical tensions squeezing global oil supplies today, and massive media mergers completely frozen in their tracks. So I have to ask you, as we look at all these converging storylines, which of these forces do you think will ultimately dictate the second half of 2026? Think about how those dots connect. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.